From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
I'm Joe St. George in Maryland. How high will the price of gasoline go? And can President Biden do anything to stop a record spike? We break it down next.
And some Montanans staged another rally to support Ukraine yesterday. What people at the gathering in Missoula were saying coming up. Well, happy Monday, Southwest Montana. What a beautiful shot on our community hospital of Anaconda iCam into Butte this morning. Lovely as it is, it's going to look a little different in the next 48 hours.
It will. We're going to be dealing with much colder air, some snow trying to move in. It's cold this morning, so bundle up on the way outside. The temperature should warm up pretty nicely, but a lot of areas into the single digits. We're sub-zero, about 11 degrees below zero in West Yellowstone, according to our weather watcher, Ken. You look at our futurecast, that cloud cover thickening up as you get closer to the noon hour. We'll see the best potential of snow developing tonight. You may see some light snow for the early evening, the heaviest bands of snow developing overnight tonight and early tomorrow morning. Daytime temperatures back into the low 30s. We are looking at some definite changes on the way. We'll talk about the impacts that'll have through the rest of the week coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Matt. 6:31 around the world, people are standing in solidarity with Ukrainians. In Montana, there have been several demonstrations in support. Yesterday, state residents stood outside the Missoula County Courthouse to show their support for Ukraine. MTN's Hannah Hislop was there.
In between the break-in clouds, about 50 Missoula residents gathered in front of the courthouse to stand in solidarity and show their support for Ukraine.
In the face of all of these terrible crimes against humanity, it just is so important to come together in solidarity.
Solidarity, a word describing how Missoulians are responding to the war in Ukraine. With sunshine peeking through the clouds, rally participants wave their signs and cheer when the word is spoken. Organized by the Western Montana Democratic Socialists of America, speakers share that we have more in common with each other than we might realize. Sandy Birch, one of Sunday's rally organizers, says we should care about the people affected by the war.
War hurts working people. It hurts. I mean, everyday people are the people who have to fight and kill each other and die and suffer and, I mean, just live through pain that I can't even imagine.
And as rally members hold paper Ukrainian flags and a peace sign waves on the steps of the Missoula County Courthouse, their message is simple: support Ukrainian freedom. In Missoula, Hannah Hislop, MTN News.
Well, by now you know Russia's invasion of Ukraine being felt around the world, most notably at the gas pump. Over the weekend, price spiked, with many projecting even higher prices this week. So what options do our country's leaders have when it comes to lowering the price? Our Joe St. George with how high it could go and what options President Biden has.
Across the country, the gas station has become a place of frustration.
It's crazy. It's ridiculous. I'm an Uber driver.
The impact felt by those who drive for a living, especially, like Bruce Downing.
I just try to find the lowest places.
Of course, the big question right now is how high will the price of gasoline go? And can President Biden and Congress do anything to stop it?
We could get to $4.25, maybe even $4.50 a gallon.
Patrick DeHaan predicts gas prices for Gas Buddy. He says $4.10 a gallon is the current record high national average. It happened back in 2008. He predicts the national average will go even higher this year.
It could come as early as April Fool's Day.
The data getting the attention of President Biden, who DeHaan says has some decisions to make. Option number one, suspend the federal gas tax, which is currently 18 cents a gallon. On Capitol Hill, some lawmakers have suggested that. However, the idea is struggling to take off because of a fear that a decline in the gas tax would mean less money for infrastructure projects. Option number two, allow winter gasoline to be used throughout summer. You might not know this, but DeHaan says the Environmental Protection Agency mandates in most places a cleaner form of gas is sold from June 1st to September 15th. That's because in warmer months, gasoline has a greater chance of evaporating, causing smog. President Biden could enact a waiver to keep the cheaper winter gas flowing.
Winter gasoline generally has higher emissions. It is more volatile, but it's also cheaper to produce.
Option number three, release more petroleum from the country's reserve. The president has already done that, but so far,
they're having very little impact on what motorists are paying.
And finally, option number four, increase domestic energy production. However, that would go against the president's climate change commitments. Back at the gas station, you realize people want this solved. Anthony Okoko voted for the president.
I might go Republican. The way things are going, something got to be done.
In Laurel, Maryland, I'm Joe St. George.
Well, in a related story, inflation is soaring, consumer prices are spiking. It's a 1-2 punch that's having a big impact on seniors and others on fixed income. Newsy's Addie Guardo tells us the challenges retirees are facing when it comes to balancing their budgets.
Food, rent, and gas prices are burning a hole in Americans' wallets. As the economy recovers from the pandemic and inflation pushes the cost of everything higher. But it's people on fixed incomes, like retirees, who are especially feeling the pinch.
Since I retire, it's like retirement means it's like you have limited income.
Snehaleta Malavia retired when she turned 70 years old. She lives in low-income housing in New York.
Before I spend it, I have to think the budget.
A budget that's only growing tighter. In the past year, inflation reached the highest rate in 4 decades.
I feel like the price has gone so much compared to 2 years, 3 years before, like milk, fruits, vegetables, clothes.
Cost increases hitting nearly all aspects of life.
They also raise our premium for Medicare, raise the premium for our prescription drug plans.
Retired teacher Bill Allman says he has no choice but to cut back on spending.
Prices have gone up so high, it just can't afford them all anymore.
President Joe Biden proposed a solution to fight inflation during the State of the Union address.
More infrastructure and innovation in America. More goods moving faster and cheaper in America. More jobs where you can earn a good living in America.
This year, millions of retirees also received a 5.9% boost in their Social Security benefits, the biggest cost of living adjustment in 39 years.
It sounded like it was this big relief.
Stephanie Fullerton, the president and co-founder of Fullerton Financial Planning, says that while the adjustment is welcome, it's not enough.
The reality is, in evaluating the last 10 years, there were a couple years that there was no cost of living adjustment. So even with an uptick that we saw just recently, it's not even averaging what we should be averaging to maintain and keep up with inflation.
With the help of Senior Planet, an AARP program, Malavia learned to be tech savvy, and now she goes online to compare prices before she steps inside a grocery store.
Also, I focus the sales item.
Experts say now is the time to save and budget.
6:37 in health news this morning. An expensive and controversial Alzheimer's drug could cost patients up to $75,000 a year. New scientific analysis says in addition to being expensive, the drug may not work that well. Newsy's health and science correspondent Lindsay Thies examines the risky side effects.
We're dripping. Alzheimer's patients could pay roughly $75,000 each year for treatment and medical costs related to the IV drug aducanumab. That's according to new peer-reviewed analysis from the American Academy of Neurology.
The drug itself is expensive, the diagnostic tests are expensive, and the surveillance MRI scans can be costly as well.
Neurologist Dr. Andrew Budson reviewed the report and provided context to us. An Alzheimer's brain has something called plaques, clumps of specific proteins that can bundle and disrupt communication between nerve cells and cause brain inflammation.
Now, the cells are what allows our brain to have different parts of it to talk to one another, which is what allows thinking and memory and talking and vision and all sorts of other activities.
Aducanumab works by sticking antibodies to the plaques, allowing the body's immune system to come in and remove them. The drug is given for 45 to 60 minutes every 4 weeks. The analysis included direct costs a patient or their family member would pay. That $75,000 annual cost includes doctor's visits, neuropsychological testing, blood screenings, brain scans, the actual drug infusions, and follow-up visits and MRIs, and travel.
Would you recommend this treatment?
Yeah, I would not recommend or prescribe this medication. And the reason is that side effects were very common. Approximately 30% of individuals had brain swelling.
Side effects like brain swelling, brain bleeds, even stroke did show up in the clinical trials for this drug. That's why costly scans and follow-ups are so important. Patients could reduce the number of follow-ups, the AAN notes, but that could mean risking detecting brain bleeds early.
I've seen patients that have had 30, 40, 50 of these little tiny bleeds related to the drug, related to the treatment.
Right now, Medicare is initially covering the price of the new Alzheimer's drug, with a more permanent decision expected in April, saying related costs would only be covered if an additional randomized clinical trial happens. Biogen has countered with a real-world study instead, meaning patients would be evaluated as they receive treatments. Most private insurers are still evaluating. The American Academy of Neurology says more research needs to be done before they can say yes or no to recommending aducanumab.
If I compare the side effects to Alzheimer's to the side effects of this drug, I will take the drug any day.
Leaving the choice to patients and those who care for them. Critics also question, is this price even worth it? One study found that the drug slowed cognitive decline for about 3 months. Another large study showed conflicting results. So we reached out to Biogen and they told Newsy the AAN report did not factor in the massive burden that Alzheimer's disease has on society. In 2021, the Alzheimer's Association projected that Alzheimer's and other dementias would cost around $355 billion. Biogen also said that they are working on a global confirmatory study. We'll continue to follow any developments. I'm Lindsay Thies in San Francisco. Back to you.
All right, thank you very much. Meantime, we're going to take a break here on Montana This Morning.